Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss a new chapter, that is chapter number 9, Establishment of a Company Rule in India. How the European companies started the trading centers and built the factories and formed the military and administration, and gradually they rule our country. We will discuss these things in this chapter. Vasco da Gama landed at Calicut in 1498 and marked the beginning of the European era in Indian history. Vasco da Gama, the sailor of Portugal, means the people of Portugal, they are known as the Portuguese. Vasco da Gama landed at Calicut in Kerala in 1498 and marked the beginning of the European era in the Indian history. And the Vasco da Gama discovered the sea route to India, and he started his journey from Portugal and reached at Calicut in Kerala in 1498. By the 16th century, the Portuguese had established their colonies in Goa. 16th century means from 1501 to 99. This is known as the 16th century. By the 16th century, the Portuguese had established their colonies in Goa. In the next century, means 17th century, India became a popular destination for a large number of European traders, adventurers, missionaries from England, Spain, France, Holland. In 17th century, India became a popular destination for the European traders, adventurers, missionaries. They came from England, Spain, France, Holland, Denmark, etc. The age of imperialism in India began with the weakening and eventually the disintegration of the Mughal Empire. The age of imperialism in India began with the weakening and eventually the disintegration of the Mughal Empire. The Mughal Empire was a powerful empire. In the previous class, you have studied about the Mughal Empire. The Mughal emperors like Babur, Akbar, Shah Jahan, Jahangir, Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb was the last great Mughal emperor who died in 1707. After the death of Aurangzeb, the Mughal Empire started disintegrating. And the lack of a strong central authority led to the emergence of many independent states. Due to the lack of the strong central authority, many independent states emerged that revolted against the weak successor of Aurangzeb. Means after the death of Aurangzeb, those who came to power, they are the weak rulers. They could not control, and for that cause, many independent states emerged. These states were Bengal, Awadh, Hyderabad, and Mysore. The Sikhs in Punjab, the Marathas in Maharashtra, the Jats and the Rajputs in Rajputana also set up their own kingdoms. Hence, the stage was set for Europeans to take advantage of this situation. And this was the time, a golden opportunity for the Europeans and they take the advantage and also started their trading centers, build the factories, and gradually they also rule our country. Trading companies. Many European trading companies established their trading centers in coastal areas of India. Many European trading companies established their trading centers in coastal areas of India because the ports also helped them to transport the goods from our country to their country, and the trading centers are called as the factories, the places where factors or officials worked. Some of the factories were fortified as a safeguard from the rival trading companies. The European companies, they also built the factories, the coastal areas, and they built the boundaries to protect and fortified their factories from the rival trading companies. They bought spices, cotton textiles, indigo, and saltpeter at a cheap rate from India and sold them in Europe and America at high price. They bought, the European companies bought cotton textiles, handlooms or khadi, indigo, a raw material which is used for drying cloths, and saltpeter, the raw material for making gunpowder. The gunpowder also used for the crackers. They bought these things at a cheap rate from India and sold them in Europe and the America at high price. The huge profit margin led to a competition among the foreign trading companies. They gain huge profit, and this huge profit margin lead to the competition among the foreign trading companies. The other trading companies had to bow out to the English and the French companies. Out of the European companies, the most important, the French East India Company and the British East India Company, who remained the main rivals in our country. The East India Company. The history of the world has not witnessed a more amazing story than that of the establishment of the British Empire in India. Means the history of the world has not witnessed a more amazing story than that of the establishment of the British Empire in India. The establishment of a British Empire was a history. It was not the result of a deliberate effort, but a series of episodes that finally led to political dominance of India by the East India Company. The East India Company came as traders, and they gradually built the factories and occupied the areas, and gradually they also keep the relation with the kings and princes. They play also divide and rule policy, and these things lead to a political dominance of India by the East India Company. The East India Company set up a trading post in Surat. The British East India Company, they first set up the trading post in Surat and the three presidency towns like Bombay, the Fort William in Bengal, means in Calcutta, Fort St. George in Madras, and the Bombay Castle. These are the three presidency towns: Calcutta, Bombay, Madras. There they also started the trading posts. They established friendly relation with the local princes to further their profit. They keep the friendly relations with the local princes and kings for their further profit. The Indian rulers signed alliance to secure the help of English military to settle their internal rivalries. At that time in our country, the kings and princes sometimes they also fought with each other, and for for that cause they also keep good relation with the French East India Company and the British East India Company. And the British East India Company, they also signed alliance the local princes and kings, and also gave the military assistance to settle their internal rivalries. Taking advantage of this situation, the British introduced the policy of divide and rule. The British always used the policy of divide and rule. How to divide the people, how to make conflict among the kings and princes, and rule. For that cause, the Indian princess became a merry puppet in the hands of the England by English. How could a trading company become an imperial power? The real answer is that the East India Company became an imperial power to protect its trading interest from other European traders. It began as a trading company, took over political control, and became the ruler of entire India. The British East India Company became an imperial power to protect its trading interest from the other European traders, because at that time mostly the British East India Company and the French East India Company, they are the rivals. And the British East India Company took over the political control and became the ruler of entire India. The aim of the company was to gain monopoly of the entire trade in the East. The British East India Company wanted the monopoly of trade. The company came into conflict with the other foreign traders and hence built up its own military and administrative departments. To protect the company, the British East India Company also built its own military and administrative department to protect from the other European companies. It became such a strong force that it took over the governance of Bengal, Madras, and Bombay, now Mumbai. The British East India Company by built the military power and administration. They became so much powerful, and gradually they took over the governance of Bengal, Madras, and Bombay. The trading company transformed into an auxiliary government and a military power that ended only in 1858. The 1858 is one of the most important year in the Indian history. The governance of the India directly hand with the British Crown. After the 1857 revolt, the governance of India go directly to the hand of a British Crown in 1858. Let us discuss the Carnatic Wars. The Carnatic War were a series of battles fought between the English and the French for the control of the trading ports of India during the year 1746 and to 1763. The Carnatic War is a series of battles. Means the Carnatic War, there are three Carnatic Wars fought between the British East India Company and the French East India Company to control the trading ports of India from 1746 to 1763 during 17 years. And these wars were driven by opportunism on all sides, and though the native princes did not want to surrender their territory to an outside power, they often cooperated willingly with the Europeans to strengthen their own position. Let us discuss the three Carnatic Wars one by one. The first Carnatic War, 1746 to 48. The Carnatic War was the result of an Austrian succession war that took place in 1740 between Austria and Prussia. Austria and Prussia, the European countries. There was a war of succession which started in 1740, and there England and also France remain opposite side. England and France entered opposite side in this war. Commodore Barnett, the British naval officer, arrived into India with his troops. Commodore Barnett, the British naval officer who arrived in India with his troops. But the French proposed peace with the British. The French East India Company, they also proposed the peace with the British. The Nawab of Carnatic, Anwaruddin, Carnatic, the place that is now the place of Karnataka, Bangalore, Mysore, and some parts of southern India, South India. Nawab of Carnatic, Anwaruddin, also ordered that there should not be any war. So Commodore Barnett returned to England, but Dupleix did not keep his promise and attacked Madras and captured it. When the Nawab of Carnatic, Anwaruddin, ordered there should not be any war, then Commodore Barnett, who came from England, the naval officer with his troop, returned to England. After his return to England, Dupleix, the French general, did not keep his promise and attacked Madras and occupied it in 1746. In this battle, Anwaruddin was defeated by the French. The Austrian Succession War came to an end in 1748. The Austrian Succession War, which has continued from 1740 to 48, also came to an end. There, the French was also defeated, and the power of France weakened in India also. France was forced to sign a treaty and handed over Madras back to England. Then the Second Carnatic War, 1749 to 54. There was a war of succession between Chand Sahib, son-in-law of Dost Ali Khan, and Anwaruddin, the Nawab of Carnatic, for the Carnatic Nawabship. After the death of Nizam-ul-Mulk, the Deccan Subedar, in 1748, a war broke out between the Muzaffar Jung, grandson of Nizam-ul-Mulk, and the Nasir Jung, son of Nizam ul Mulk. After the death of Nizam ul Mulk, the Subedar of Deccan, there was a war broke out between his son and his grandson. His son, that is Nasir Jung, and his grandson Muzaffar Jung. The French signed a secret treaty with Muzaffar Jung, means grandson. The French signed a secret treaty with Muzaffar Jung and Chand Saib to help them with well-trained French forces. The French signed a secret treaty with Muzaffar Jung, the grandson of Nizam ul Mulk, and Chand Saib to help them with well-trained forces. They defeated Nazir Jung and Anwaruddin. Anwaruddin is the Nawab of Carnatic. They defeated Nazir Jung, the son of Nizam ul Mulk. They defeated them in Chand Saib, Muzaffar Jung with the French forces. They defeated Nazir Jung and Anwaruddin, the Nawab of Carnatic, and gained monopoly for trade over South India. Anwaruddin died in this battle, and his son Muhammad Ali ran away. Anwaruddin died in the battle, and his son Muhammad Ali ran away. On the other hand, the English plotted with Nazir Jung and defeated the French army. After the death of Nawab of Carnatic, Anwaruddin, then the English also helped Nazir Jung and defeated the French army. The Third Carnatic War. The Third Carnatic War, which started in 1756 to 63. The Third Carnatic War began in 1756 between the French and the English. Please see, every Carnatic War also started between the French and the English. The Third Carnatic War began in 1756 between the French and the English. When the French besieged Madras, Robert Clive sent Colonel Ford to occupy northern Sirkar. When French occupied Madras, Robert Clive, the general, then after that Governor General, Robert Clive sent Colonel Ford to occupy northern Sirkar. Ford occupied northern Sirkar and brought Salbat Jung, the fourth Nizam of Hyderabad, under his control. Salbat Jung gave northern Sirkar to the British because a battle took place in 1760 at Wandiwas between the English and the French. A battle took place in 1760 at Wandiwas between the English and the French. The French were defeated. Pondicherry, now Puducherry, the modern name, was occupied by the British. When the 7 Years' War ended in Europe in 1763, there was a 7 years of war in Europe from 1756 to 63, which has ended, and France was also defeated. The Treaty of Paris was signed. As per this treaty, Pondicherry was given back to France. Robert Clive succeeded in making a name for himself among the native princes. He won many more battles for the English and foiled Dupleix, the French general, and Robert Clive, the British general. And please hear, when the 7 Years' War ended in 1763, the Treaty of Paris was signed. Paris means the capital of France. There, the Treaty of Paris was signed. As per this treaty, Pondicherry was given back to French. Robert Clive succeeded in making a name for himself among the native princes. He won many more battles for the English and foiled Dupleix, the French general, at every turn. As a result, the constant defeat, Dupleix was called back to France in disgrace. After defeat again and again by the hand of a British East India Company, the general of a French East India Company was called back to France in disgrace. Eventually, French East India Company was dissolved in 1770. In 1770, the French East India Company was also dissolved. The French ambition of establishing an empire in India ended and the British supremacy was firmly established. After the dissolve of the French East India Company in 1770, the French ambition of establishing an empire in India came to an end, and the British became the supreme power in India, and British supremacy was also firmly established. Students, and the rest of the chapter we will discuss in the next class. Thank you. Have a good day.